Well, here is the next group of 4. It is our final group, and this is what we're talking about with the winners in this group. It's Worsham, Lucas, Grubnic, and Brown. It's time for a Napa Track Fact. Here's Ron Capps.
Well, I really like the new pre-stage and stage configuration. For me, though, I think the pre-stage and stage is a little bit bright still. We'll talk to Graham Light with the other drivers, but when that white line that separates a pre-stage and a stage comes on, it's very, very bright. And that blue, in itself, is a very piercing blue. So if we could dim that a little bit, I think most drivers would be very happy with it. The trick is knowing that you're in lane 2 and 3 and not looking at the tree and looking at the far left or far right. That's going to be probably the deciding factor.
Well, back at the starting line, it looks like business as usual as the next 4 cars fire up. Business as usual for the Matco Tools team, but I can tell you about 15 minutes ago, it wasn't. I was talking with Brian Karate, Mark Oswald, the crew chiefs on Antron Brown's car, and they were still in the pits. 15 cars in the staging lanes in the Matco machine back there. Asked him what was going on, what was the issue. He said they've had a problem starting to develop in the bell housing. They saw it last night, and they just went over the bell housing with a fine-tooth comb this morning, and he said it took a little bit more time, but business as usual as far as the tune-up goes. Antron Brown in lane number 3.
That's cool.
It certainly is. All 3 of this year's Top Fuel race winners are in this group. Lucas was the Pomona winner. Del Worsham at Gainesville, and Antron Brown, the most recent winner at Las Vegas. The lane, Dave Grubnic just way over on the far right. That is lane number 1.
Hey, this is a great group here as you look at David Grubnic, as you mentioned, the only one to not win this season out of this group, but looked pretty good in qualifying. His round record's not all that great this year, but he did qualify pretty well. Made the last session, he went 385 to give him that number 8 qualifying position.
Morgan Lucas in lane number 2. Well, he started off the year great, but it's been a bit of a struggle since then. Antron Brown, Dave mentioned, lane 3.
Antron Brown had a great car at the Winter Nationals, won in Vegas, and then how about Del Worsham? Won in Gainesville, second race out, and yes, Dave, you didn't see our show. In qualifying, he was all over the racetrack and still got that number 1 spot with a great 3:78 elapsed time.
Now, once again, all the chiefs have to signal to assistant starters who then look over at Rick Stewart, who stands there the right side of the divider in the center in between lanes 2 and 3. Grubnic gone early. The rest of them come down the track, and Antron Brown and Del Worsham are the guys that are going to move forward. Antron got there second with that 387, a 382 for Del.
Well, some good runs in lane 3 and 4. As you mentioned, both good reaction times for Del Worsham and Antron. They're both in the old 50 range. Morton was on his 30 light, but just didn't have the race car underneath him, so he's not going to advance, as David Grubnic isn't either.
Let's go to the top end. Gary Gerald.
Well, we check in with the birthday boy. He advances to the second round. Happy birthday, obviously. I heard you saying you're telling your guys to try to calm down. Is it difficult to stay cool with all these extra activity with the other teams at the line?
Yeah, you know, and we had a little bit of stuff going on before we made that run. We were running a little bit behind, kind of rushed up there on the line, so wanted to make sure all my guys just kept composure. You know, we didn't make any stupid mistakes that could have cost us that round. So, you know, we went out there. I saw Tony out ahead of us. He went 81, so I didn't know if we won or not. It was a lot of excitement and a lot of anxiety all the way down here to the end. You know, they're pushing you around. I said, I don't know who won. Did we get there? What did we do? So, yeah, you know, it's a good time. We like coming here and racing with Bruton.
Take a deep breath. Get ready to do it again.
Thanks a lot.
We'll take a deep breath and take a look at the Lucas Oil ladder. Now that the first session of Top Fuel is complete, Worsham, Brown, Massey, and Coletta. That's the first group.
Yeah, and they're going to see Torrance Schumacher, Larry Dixon, and Sean Langdon in the second one.
Let's go to Stat Guy.
Think about this in the next round of Top Fuel. Larry Dixon will race in his 900th round of competition, and Tony Schumacher is 800th in the same group.
And let's go to Dave Reed.
Now, here's Brian Karate getting ready to go back to the pits. The Matco Tools car survives what many thinks is one of the toughest quads. What did you think going up against the 3 race winners this year?
You know, I didn't even think about that until you said something. Yeah, going up against #1 qualifier like Dell, we were behind all weekend. You know, hopefully what we found early this morning will make for a better day.
You think you found the issue then for sure?
We'll see. About 10 minutes.
Go back, take a look at the computer, try to get the Matco Tools car ready for round number 2, which I guess, Paul, that's the semifinals in this 4-wide format.
Well, exactly, and that's one of the other strange aspects. Hey, here's the #1 qualifier and the defending champion. His name is John Ford, but he hasn't won this year.